Hey, it's Rachel from All About Planners. In this video I'm doing a review of the Legend Planner. So this planner is very much a goal planner crossed with also a normal like weekly monthly planner. I really liked the weekly layout of this one, so if you follow me you'll know what the weekly layout is, but we'll have a look at that in a sec. So let's start with the cover. The page size is fairly typical for a sewn bound hardcover notebook. It is about 5.5 inches wide by about 8.5 inches high, so around about half US letter size. I really love this cover because if you touch it, all this stuff is like 3D indented into it, which is something really different, and I have not seen many of these sewn bound hardcover notebooks do that. They tend to just be plain boring black or just one color. And speaking of color, I really love this purple, not a color that seems to be very common. It's usually just black, which is so boring. It is quite chunky because it does have monthly and weekly, and there's also some dot grid notes pages at the back. There's also some like 3-month check-in pages. That's why it's a little chunkier than some of the other sewn bound planners you might have looked at. It's about 1.5 centimeters thick, and then nothing on the spine, just looks plain. So let's have a look at the inside. So they include this little like tip booklet, not just one page, it's a full-on booklet with suggestions on how to use each of the pages. So if I just give you a quick look at that, because I will show you the actual pages in a sec. So again, lots of goal planning, monthly review, monthly calendar, the weekly spread, and then some other goal sections as well. Love this bright white paper. I hope that's showing up on the camera. It is really bright white. So I found that most sewn bound notebooks either have nice bright white like this or yucky yellow, so I'm so glad it has the bright white. So at the front here, it sort of starts with like, what do you want kind of thing when you're working out what your goals are going to be. And then you can write them all here. Now this is huge. A list of 50 goals that you can put down. I don't think I've ever seen a planner have that many spaces for goals for like 1 year. So I guess I really want you to make it down, break it down into lots of details. So maybe instead of just like build up your savings fund, you have like one goal is to save 500. The next goal is like save for a car or something like that. So it gives you lots of space to break it down right there. And then we have the like categories that they've come up with, which I think most people will have those categories. As you can see there, they're all pretty standard. There is quite a lot of them though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 categories. So some might only include like 4. This one has full 8, and it is carried through. I got the vision board. It's carried through to the rest of the goal pages here, as you can see. So you've got your top 3 for each category. I always do a top 3, so really like that. Plenty of space to write because it's spread over 2 pages. Nothing feels like crammed. I feel like the proportions in this planner are quite good, and the line spacing is good as well. Sometimes when it's a smaller page size like this, they tend to make the line spacing smaller, which I don't really understand because then you can't really fit anything in. So anyway, I feel like they've thought this planner out quite well. So we got the My Strategy section. You can put some notes down of how you're going to go about it. Daily rituals. Probably personally wouldn't use that, but it's there if you need it. Now it is a weekly planner, so keep that in mind. It's the monthly and weekly spread. There's no daily spread. We have the dates at a glance for 2020 and 2021. I think everything is US focused, even though I saw that this planner, it says it's made in China, but I feel like they're targeting like the US market like most planners are, because the holidays are US, as you can see, like Columbus Day, those kind of things, Independence Day, etc. But you can obviously still use this if you live anywhere in the world. The only reference is on this calendar here, and then they are printed again on the monthly spreads. So I really like this goal page. So you've got your 3-month goals. So you go to your 8 categories that you've done before back here, and then you pick out what goals you want to focus on. And there's actually quite ample room to write the goal. And my favorite part, space to list out like your to-do list for each goal. So it's really annoying when I find planners that just include like this, and I'm like, well, how do I actually map out how I'm going to do it? So this one actually follows through and has that there for you. And I really like this seamless thing where it just goes across the page and everything is all like on the 2 pages. It's just a nice logical layout. I really like that. Then we go into the months. So this is a 12-month dated planner starting in January 2020 through till the end of the year. And now the monthly calendar, I do like all these extras that they've got around it. I personally prefer to do a list format, but it's got the usual boxes. This is what I mentioned about the US. It's got the Martin Luther King Day, and the dates at a glance for the last month, next month, a little bit of notes then down the bottom here. goals again, and then there's those main categories. Now it had 8 before and it's reduced it down to 6, so you can always just put some white out and substitute back in whichever goal you want to focus on. So maybe you don't want to focus on a spiritual one, you want to focus on something else, you could always customize it that way, but I did find that a bit odd that it reduces to 6 instead of the 8. Anyway, now with the monthly calendar, if you follow my YouTube channel, you know what I look for. I don't like when the boxes are split like diagonally, and unfortunately this planner does do that, so I've just earmarked it here. Oops, not there, sorry, wrong one. I love these ribbon bookmarks, by the way. These 3 colors are so nice, and I love that it's different colors. So this is what I mean by the split boxes. Unfortunately they've turned into a triangle. I don't understand that at all. I don't know why you wouldn't just go 29, you go 30, 31, because now you've got almost a whole row up here of just empty boxes. It just doesn't seem very logical to try and squeeze everything into a triangle like that. So if I were to use this, white it out and then restart the numbering. So after the weekly, the monthly, we go into the weekly. Now I really love this weekly spread. And I do just want to point out the pages do lay flat on their own, and if you find that it rebounds up a little bit like that, if you turn these book bound planners over and you just pull it back a little bit like that, and then up the top as well, and then you flip it again, then it will lay flat. See? Love it, love it. I'm not even in the middle of the planner and it lays flat. Great. So the weekly spread, which I'm absolutely obsessed with. So I absolutely love when it's 1 page horizontal on one side, and especially lined writing space. Probably would be better for me personally if the Saturday and Sunday were bigger, but I mean, and even though they've done, you know, like 2 columns, at least you still get like a fair amount of space to write in. But this page is what I was most excited about, so I really like this second list page here. So you got the main goal, habit tracker, work to-do list, and a personal to-do list. So I could do like blog, personal. And then we've got some dot grid paper. You can do whatever you want there, add some more lists, do some sketches, etc. This week's wins, how I'll improve next week, and then a little checklist to tick off when you've done each of those things. So I think that's just a much more creative layout. I feel like people are getting a lot better with the weekly spreads. They're not just boring, generic, like vertical weekly spreads anymore. They're actually getting a bit more practical, and I really like all the list space in this one. So we'll definitely be trying out this weekly spread. Also list the week numbers up the top here as well. So if you maybe tie that back with, you know, that list of 50 goals that was at the front back here, if you went like, you know, by week 30, I want to have this much in my savings account, then again, that's there to kind of like prompt you and remind you. So after all of the weekly spreads, we go into a monthly review, which I did tag with one of these bookmarks because sewn bound planner, there's no tabs. At least there's 3 bookmarks though. So at the end of each month, you get this reflection section. So you got a line, note space to jot down some answers. They've got one of these nifty things, which I got one of those Helix circle makers to make my own, but obviously it does take time. So it's a lot better when they just include it for you. So you can fill that one in. And then some steps for next month, and then a nice big dot grid page for you to put whatever you want there, notes, lists, brainstorming, etc. Now the dot grid spacing is 5mm. I'll just grab my ruler to confirm that, but it looks like it's 5mm. Yeah, it's about 5mm. I will triple check that and include that in the blog post, which will be linked down below, which will also have the pen test as well. So the only thing I would say that I think this planner is lacking is that there is no yearly review. So at the end here, this is the one for December, and then there is no yearly review at all. It just goes to dot grid pages at the back, and you do get quite a few of them, but I just think some sort of structured like annual reflection would be ideal. They do have a 3-month like check-in. I forgot to ribbon bookmark that page, but there is a 3-month check-in in here, which is good, but I do think you could still do with a yearly check-in too. Where did that go? It's like a 3-monthly questionnaire. Go back. Here we go. So then sort of, you know how at the start it had you pick your 3 months? It restarts that the whole way through. So for each quarter you get this goal page that I was talking about earlier. So it's got like a quarterly goal, then you can do the monthly, then you can do the weekly. I just think they need to go one step further and do the yearly. At the back here, there's a pocket folder, and it comes with some stickers. Now, I personally probably wouldn't pick these colors, but I do like how functional they are, and I really like these little icons, and they are foil, as you can see. nice and shimmery. And then this one here, which is a bit more like decorative. And then some quotes. So I think that's pretty good range of stickers to come with the planner. There's also this elastic band here, as you can see, if you want to put your pen in there. And then this elastic band to hold the entire planner like together. I just took it off to make it easier to film. So that is it for this review. I hope you found it helpful. I will have photos of this planner and all the size details, the dot grid spacing, all that kind of stuff, all the specs, etc. Pros and cons list, pen testing photos, all of that will be linked in the blog post down below. So I hope you found this review helpful. Don't forget to subscribe. I usually post a couple of planner review videos each week. The subscribe button is down below. See ya!